Welcome back to Pain Law. Okay, we're going to switch for a second and just touch on personal injury mistakes. The mistakes that happen if you do not have the right attorney representing you. Okay, let's just dive right in. The first mistake, gap in care and limited medical treatment and testing.
All right, that is very, very important. You know, a lot of times people don't know whether they should go to the emergency room, what doctor to go to. Any delay in going to a doctor for treatment, at the beginning of the case, the adjuster is going to say that is a gap in care, meaning you didn't go to the doctor right away, you may not be hurt. They use that against you to lower the value of your case. So if you are hurt and you need treatment, get it. It's very important. The other thing is limited treatment. That means that you sometimes don't get the treatment you need because you're afraid of the cost. If you're really hurt and you have a good case, you need to get all the treatment that you need, because by limiting that treatment, you're limiting the documentation and the expenses that you really need to incur to get better. That's going to hurt the settlement value too.
Not having an attorney and not having the right attorney, mistake number 2, quick settlement.
Yep, the adjuster right out of the get-go is going to say, hey, here's a quick $500. Let me get a quick recorded statement and see how this really happened. The recorded statement is trying to get defenses to the case, and the quick settlement offer is trying to settle that case before you get the treatment that you need, where if you get the treatment you need, they can do the testing if you don't get better. A lot of times what looks like a soft tissue injury and not a big deal may turn out to be a herniated disc or some big problem that requires injections or surgery that could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. If they can get you to take a quick $100, $500, they've saved the company huge money at your expense.
Mistake number 3, failing to provide the required notice to all insurance companies.
This is really, really, really important. This is one of those things where a lot of people don't realize that you've got to give notice to all of the auto insurance carriers that have underinsured or uninsured motorist coverage. Now that's a big, it sounds like what in the world is that? That is the coverage where if you've purchased your own automobile insurance, or if there's anyone in your household that's related to you by blood or marriage, you've got to get them written notice. A lot of these policies have very short fuses for that. If you don't get the written notice to all of those carriers, the policy may be void and you may not get that coverage that you so desperately need if you're seriously injured.
These are all the reasons why you have to have an attorney if you have a personal injury claim. Because who knows this stuff?
Right.
Not a lot of people. Nobody, in fact, knows this unless you call.
The policies are getting much, much sneakier and quick, short fuses.
Sure.
You got to give written notice within 30 days, 60 days. It depends. Each policy is different. You don't know. So the quicker you can call us, the quicker we can get involved to send out those notices immediately.
877-PAIN-LAW is the number. 877-PAIN-LAW is the number. Mistake number 4, failing to verify the policy limits.
Right. A lot of times you don't know what the policy is. People say, what's my case worth? And the first thing I'll say is, I can tell you that, but we also need to verify the policy limits with sworn affidavits of coverage that we can get. You're not going to be able to get it alone unless you know the law, which most people don't. That means that you don't know what the total amount is the insurance company has to pay. If you have a huge case, we have got to be able to identify the policy limits for each policy. You've got to know that so that you can exhaust each policy so that you can stack the policies. Without knowing it, you're really setting up for a huge loss.
Sure, you don't take sworn affidavits yourself. You get your attorney to do it for you. And that's at Pain Law, 877-PAIN-LAW. Mistake number 5, not stacking the policies properly.
Right. Stacking the policies, people immediately say, I don't know what that means. Well, you don't know what it means, and it ties into the policy limits situation, but you've got to know how to use the right limited release, how to properly stack those policies, because we can recover from multiple policies. If you do it yourself, you make a mistake, you could easily make a $70,000 mistake like a client of ours almost made, or a $100,000 mistake.
And that's what they're counting on. They're counting on you not knowing what stacking the policies means, or insurance. I didn't even know what it meant until he just said uninsured motorists, and I figured it out. I didn't know what it meant, which means me, as an attorney myself, need to call an attorney if I get into an accident or if I'm hurt on the job. 877-PAIN-LAW is the number, 877-PAIN-LAW. Now, mistake number 6, and of course this is probably the best left for last, negotiating without an attorney, representing yourself. It's just the worst thing to do. It's to ensure that you get the least amount of money for your injury.
Right.
But people think that they can represent themselves and they're afraid to call an attorney.
Right.
It doesn't cost anything. It is free to call Pain Law. They don't recover any money unless you recover. So you don't have to come out of pocket for anything. And believe me, you do not want to negotiate without an attorney. Take it from an attorney. Don't negotiate without an attorney, and the right attorney, the one that specializes in what your situation is. So if I get into a car accident tomorrow, I'm going to call Pain Law because I'm not a personal injury lawyer.
The studies have shown that people who have an attorney are going to recover on average 3.5 times more. So even though you think maybe I'll do it myself, I'll save a little money, you can make a huge mistake. And 100% of a small amount is a lot worse than a huge settlement where you pay an attorney.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I think you're clear on the message. Call Pain Law, 877-PAIN-LAW. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you again.